I believe that a better America is possible, but it requires an example from places that want to make it so. What better place than this? You know that polarization is a problem in this country. Our inability to understand each other, our inability to actually band together for common cause and for progress. Nobody likes it. Nobody in history has ever been persuaded with hatred, has been convinced by insults. If you want to persuade them, you can't do it by talking about them that way. Can't be done. You can only do it with, you can only persuade people with one tool, and that's love. Real moral courage is not standing up to the people with whom you disagree. That's easy. Sometimes it's hard, but it's not moral courage. It might be the right thing to do. It's a free country, free speech. You disagree, say it. Moral courage is standing up to the people with whom you agree on behalf of those with whom you disagree. Anger is actually not very dangerous per se, unless we express it in suboptimal and antisocial ways. As a matter of fact, there's good studies that show that anger and divorce are uncorrelated. The problem is that there's another basic negative emotion called disgust that turns it ice cold. Disgust is actually activating a part of the brain called the insula, or the insular cortex, that says that you have something terrible on the bottom of your shoe, that something smells really bad, that you should stay away from something because it might infect you. When you express disgust for another human being and mix it with anger, it turns into a complex human emotion that we call contempt. Contempt is the conviction that somebody or something is worthless, not worth your time. My friends, we have a contempt epidemic in this country. We're a massive couple on the rocks on the way to divorce court. That's what's going on in America today. That's the bad news. The good news is that we can fix it if we get our communication right. And the way to do that starts with us, this room. What should you do every time you feel political hatred? And don't tell me you don't feel it for the people that you really dislike, because we all do. Well, it turns out there's a special teaching that I learned one time. It's called Matthew chapter 5, verse 44, love your enemies. The most subversive teaching in human history. Why? Because what is that? That's the ultimate biblical reprogramming of the nucleus accumbens. There's a lot of good neuroscience in the Bible, friends. The whole idea, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you. That doesn't say like your enemies, by the way, because like is a feeling and it's sentimental and you can't control your feelings. It's an act. It's a commitment. St. Thomas Aquinas said in 1265, to love is to will the good of the other, notwithstanding your feelings. Love is something you decide to do and a certain way that you decide to behave. When you feel contempt, you show love. You can neutralize contempt with the power of your love. Disagreement is the secret to American greatness. Iron sharpens iron, say the Proverbs. We are a competition of ideas. I love competition. I love capitalism, which is competition, and I love democracy, which is competition, and the competition of ideas where we have a marketplace of differing views. This is so critically important. We have to disagree. So don't agree more, don't disagree less, disagree better. I want you to disagree better by turning off the people that are trying to profit from your rage, by expressing love on purpose where you find hatred, and showing the gratitude that's appropriately in your heart for living in the greatest country in the world that you're determined to make even greater.